Shalom, Kol Halayim La, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakak Badash, Mashana, Kabawadium, Lahazaquanium, Shol, Gadawal, Rakab. All right, now what I said there was peace, all praises to Yahweh in the name Yahweh Shai, in the name Holy Spirit. All right, and double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. All right, then I'm going to also say Shalom, Laha Bachayim, Wa Akim, Wa Akwathium, Shalom, Ahab, Wa Bawarakim. All right, now that was peace to the elect, brothers and sisters, peace, love, and blessings. All right, Chaya here, back with another video. All right, Waha Rakak Wadash, Wabaha Rakak Wadash. And I just wanted to go into what we should be doing on the Sabbath. You know, also that comes with a little testimony of something that happened to me at work between last night and this morning, because I work the graveyard shift now. All right. So what should we do on the Sabbath, or what should we be doing on the Sabbath, right? And these are just little suggestions, like from these Christian sites, these Bible sites. And I'll say this too, you know, just a small disclaimer. Not everything on these little Christian Bible sites is totally inaccurate. All right. But this is why we're spiritual men, because anything inaccurate, you know, you got certain brothers that will do videos on it and correct and reprove what's on those sites. What? With the spirit. All right. We deal with the spirit, you know. So spiritual men, us being spiritual men, we have to take the meat off the bones, man. We have to take the meat off the bones. You know, we have to take the real with the fake, man. All right. And separate them. You know, so it says, what should we do on the Sabbath day? It says, worship God on the Sabbath day, which this is accurate. All right. When you wake up, you could throw your prayers up. You know, you could pray all throughout the day. All right. Because the word Sabbath goes back to the Hebrew word Shabbath, which means to rest or to cease from work. All right. And just to prove that real quick, let's go ahead and pull it. In the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8, right? Let's see what it says. Let's see what the Hebrew word for Sabbath is. I mean, I said it, but we're just going to pull it off for the sake of edification. All right, so this is the Assyrian Hebrew, which is read from right to left, not left to right. All right, so from right to left is Sha, Ba, and Tha. You got the Sha, the Ba, and the Tha. So it's Shabbath. All right, Shabbath. It says Day of Atonement, Sabbath year, week, produce, and Sabbath year. All right, which, as far as Day of Atonement, that's a day of its own. That's a day of its own. All right, so let's go to the root word. All right. Shabbath, still. All right. It says to cease, desist, rest. All right, and this is the point. To cease, to rest, desist from labor. Okay, so that's what Sabbath means, to rest and to cease from labor. You know, labor as far as, you know, working, cooking, all right, having sex, which all of these is in the scriptures as well. All right, I'm not going to pull every single thing, but all right, we're supposed to cease from work, man. All right, we're also to stay abstain from, you know, worldly energy as far as we can help it. Okay, now because we live in a wicked society. This wicked society, which is America, spiritually called Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah, and Babylon, okay, and other names according to the Bible, all right? Because we live in a society, you know, for all of you new watching, you know, this page and things of that nature, look, man, you can't call your boss, you can't call your supervisor and be like, yo, I'm a Hebrew Israelite and it's the Sabbath day, I'm not coming into work. You can't do that, man, all right? The scriptures tell us to obey every ordinance of man, you know? So we have to, if you got to go to work, then you have to go to work. All right, the Lord sees the wickedness of this society. Shit, we're on punishment right now. All right? And one disclaimer, almost failed to mention one disclaimer as well. We're also in the middle of we're also between Sabbaths right now. We're getting out of the old one and we're coming into the new one. All right. And just to prove that, all right, this is the schedule on the calendar date right now. All right. So you see how the moon, well, it's not gonna really show in the sky tonight, but what sometime tonight, at sundown, the moon is gonna be, pretty much invisible, man. Okay, because what? This is the new moon. All right, and the Sabbath is indicated by the new moon. So every new moon we get a new Sabbath. All right. So the Sabbath is not dictated by the day Saturday. All right, all of these days of the week and these months, come from Egyptian, Greek, and Roman gods. All right, hell, we're not even on a lunar calendar right now in this society. We're operating on a Gregorian calendar. So these days are all off. Akim Wak Wathium, brothers and sisters. These days are all off. But the Sabbath is indicated by the new moon. All right, that's how you tell the Sabbath. So going back to the point, it says worship God on the Sabbath day, which I mentioned earlier. This is not off. This is not wrong. It says one of the best ways to keep the Sabbath day holy is to devote time to worshiping the Most High. All right, which is true. All right, because that day, that word holy means separate. All right, so this Sabbath day, all right, this day of rest, this day of ceasing from work is separate than, the other 6 days of the week, because the scriptures say what? Going back, it says, remember the Exodus 20:8, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. All right, keep it holy. All right. Keep it separate. It says 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. Yeah, handle all your business. Now back in the ancient world, we had our own crops, our own land space, our own cattle. Okay. We would handle all of our business therein for 6 days straight. All of our trading, all of our buying, all of our selling, all right, have all our sex, beat all our slaves. We was working those 6 days. We would work, and then what? The Lord told us to have one day for ourselves, all right, to cease from that work, because there's moderation. There's moderation in the spirit, man. Okay. Verse 10, but the seventh day is the Sabbath day of the Lord Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. All right, verse 11, and here's where it came from. It says, for in 6 days the Lord Yahweh made heaven and earth. All right, now this is going back to the book of Genesis. All right, which the God in some of those scriptures is actually talking about the angels. Okay, if you can receive it. But the credit goes back to the Most High because he's orchestrating everything. All right. And it wasn't 6 days. It wasn't like 6 days like how we have on the earth. It was 6,000 years also, if you can receive it. Okay. So in 6,000 years, all right, it says, for in 6 days, right, one day with the Lord is a thousand. Yeah. One day with the Lord is 1,000 years. It says, for in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. So the Lord rested, the Most High and the angels rested on the 7,000th year, all right, of the world being in the creation of the world. All right. It says, because the scriptures do say one day with the Lord is 1,000 years, man. Just to prove that real quick. Because the scriptures say prove all things, man. All right. For anybody, who's confused or want to be simple, but for anybody, more importantly, for anybody new, trying to get involved in the faith and what to do and understanding the Sabbath, let me just prove that one day with the Lord. Let me see if it went like this. I know it's in the New Testament. Maybe it does say Lord. Yep. This is the book of Second Peter. This is how you prove, going back to the book of Genesis, that it wasn't 6 24-hour periods. All right, it wasn't 6 24-hour periods. All right, this is 6,000 years. This is the book of Second Peter, chapter 3, verse 8. It says, "But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day." Okay, so 1,000 years on earth, all right, is one day with the Most High. Okay, so there you go, man. Okay, so that's how you prove that one day to the Most High is 1,000 years on earth. All right, so there you go, man. So in 6 days, all right, which is 6,000 years on earth, all right, the Most High and the Alahayim, the angels, made the heavens and the earth. All right, and on the 7,000th year, the angels and the Most High rested. All right, so there you go. That's where the Sabbath come from, and that's how you understand it in the book of Genesis. All right, but now to us, our days on this earth, these 24-hour periods, what? 6 days we have to work, or 6 days we're allowed to work, but on the 7th day we're supposed to rest. And I mentioned earlier today, earlier in the videos, that what? We're in the middle of an old Sabbath and a new Sabbath right now. All right, which the new Sabbath right now is going to go down. I mean, it's going to end at tomorrow sundown. Okay, but that was the point on that. So going back to what it says during the other 6 days of the week, it's easy to get caught up in all of our responsibilities. Yeah, like we're supposed to. It says on Sunday, you can take time to turn your thoughts and hearts to God. We can attend church services. All right, which Sunday, as I mentioned earlier, and I got to keep reinstating it. These days of the week today, we're not supposed to follow them because they go back to idol worship. All right. The way we're supposed to be counting the days of the week is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the way the Hebrew Israelites were supposed to be counting the days of the week, and by reason of the moon. Okay, because back in the ancient world, we would look at the moon to see when the new Sabbath was going to come about. Okay, it says, "How do you rest on Sabbath?" Right, and it's nothing to just ask these questions to Google. All right, and if you can't trust it, then hop on a brother's comment board or something like that. All right. So it says, "How do you rest on Sabbath?" It says the Bible requires that we observe the Sabbath day with gathered worship, but that is not all we should do. Prayer, solitude, journaling, reading, and reflection are all crucial ways that we replenish our inward resting in Hamashiach and his work alone for our salvation. All right, which we should really be doing all of these things every day. All right, we should really be doing all of these things every day. All right. I've also been told by, certain brothers that there's nothing wrong with sleeping throughout the Sabbath and things of that nature. Of course, you got to get up and use the bathroom. You may want to eat, and things of that nature. But there's nothing wrong with sleeping throughout the Sabbath day. There's nothing wrong with getting up and going for a walk. There's nothing wrong with watching documentaries. But what? We're not supposed to be, enjoying ourselves. We're not supposed to be seeking our own pleasure. All right, because what? It's a solemn day. It's a day to stop working. All right, as far as we can help it. All right, so no cooking, no cleaning, none of that stuff, man. All right, so there you go. Sabbath means to cease. All right, to resist. Resist from work, man. All right, to resist working. All right. So that was the point on that. And just to prove that the Sabbath day is dictated by the new moon, let me just go ahead and type this in because there's plenty of scriptures. There's plenty of scriptures that coincide the Sabbath with the new moon, man. All right. You could just type in Sabbath and new moon or new moon Sabbath. All right, in your Bible app. You can see that, the word Sabbath is synonymous with the new moon. Why? Because they are feast days. All right. This is Isaiah 66:23. It says, "And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. All right. So it says from one new moon to another and from one Sabbath to another. All right. Why did it say that? Because it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. The new moon and the Sabbath is the same exact thing in their feast days. Right. It says Ezekiel 45:17. It says, and it shall be the prince's part to give burnt offerings and meat offerings and drink offerings in the feasts and in the new moons and in the Sabbaths and all solemnities of the house of Israel, because that's mainly who this is for. It says, he shall prepare the sin offering and the meat offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings to make reconciliation for the house of Israel. Let me see. Ezekiel 46:3. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of his gate before the Lord Yahweh in the Sabbaths and in the new moon. So there you go, man. And plenty of scriptures indicating, proving, that the Sabbath is indicated by the new moon. All right. So it's not far fetched. And anybody teaching anything, any off doctrine or anything outside of that truth, all right, is going off. Okay. And they need to be checked and they need to be reproved. All right. So there you go. All right. But as I mentioned earlier, if you coming into this ministry and things of that nature, and you know what I'm saying, like you got to work on the Sabbath, or you know what I'm saying, maybe you got children and they need to eat. All right. Maybe you're a spouse to somebody and you want to you just got to handle business. Then yes, you're gonna have to handle business. Like you're gonna have to cook on the Sabbath. All right. The Lord knows our hearts, man. I just continue to pray for forgiveness, which we're supposed to be praying for forgiveness every day. All right, because living in this wicked society, not only are we in captivity, but the Most High discontinued our heritage at one point in time, man. All right. So the devil, knowing that, the devil, speaking of Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, all right, the red devil, all right, knowing that we didn't know who knowing that we got taken away from who we were, all right, he's using that to his best advantage, his best wicked advantage, man. All right. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, all right, pertaining to Esau, Edom, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times in the dividing of time. All right, so the times we're living in is upside down, because we're being hexed and vexed with unrighteous decrees by all manner of lawlessness. These laws that we have today in this society, these American standards and jurisdictions, these are not our laws, man. These are not our statutes. Our statutes, excuse me. Okay? So Esau, Edom, he's wearing out the saints of the Most High. There's probably Jake out right now, smoking a big ass blunt, having sex with another man's woman, committing adultery. All right? Doing all type of manner of wickedness, man, eating pork, because what? Our people don't know who the hell they are, man. A lot of our people still don't know who the hell they are. All right? But Israel, all right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are the saints of the Most High, man. All right, pursuing the Psalms 148:14. Israel is the saints of the Most High, and what we're being worn out right now by Esau, Edom. So here it is. I'm going to have to go to work tonight because this Sabbath ends tomorrow night. I'm going to have to go to work tonight. I'm going to have to work through the Sabbath, man. And that ain't right. But we got to do what we got to do. Can't be over righteous, man. Over righteousness is wickedness. Okay? So that was the point on that. And that's right. I said I was going to follow up with a testimony. So the main reason why I started doing this video, going into why where it says how do you rest on the Sabbath, I wanted to talk about reflection, and also sobriety. Also sobriety, man. Sober etymology. All right. So it says from Old French sobre, from Latin sobrius, all right, from se meaning without, and ebrius meaning intoxicated. A European heg, I think that's how you say it, or however you say that, drink, all right, without drink or without intoxication, without drink, all right, which the scriptures talk about us, being sober, being vigilant, man, all right, keeping a watchful eye. So what happened at work between last night and this morning and stuff like that, there's this particular woman on the job, that that I'm attracted to or whatever. Nothing serious, like I'm not like I wasn't going goo goo gaga over her, nothing like that, or whatever the case. And she's just a regular woman. I don't talk to her, really at all and stuff like that. I don't really talk to anybody at work for that matter. And then there's this Jake, and I perceive her to be Northern Tribe, so I believe she's a Jake as well. And there's this possible Southern Tribe Jake. He's I'm cool with him. He's a social dude. He's a funny dude and stuff like that. I had seen them walking together and talking. You know what I'm saying? As I was going to hop on my piece of equipment, so I see them walking and talking together, and Satan came about. Satan was present with me. You know, and Satan put this weird, awkward spirit of envy in my mind, and I rebuked it, Okay, because what? Like it's the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to do our best to keep our minds clean and sober from all manner of wickedness as far as we can help it. All right, but it's hard to do that. It's hard to do that. Given when you working on a job where you got a lot of women walking around in short shorts and these damn tights. You know what I'm saying? And a bunch of elemental people up there. All right, it's hard to keep a sober mind, but that's why prayer and supplication and meditation and sobriety is important, man. Okay, so Satan put, that drink of lust in my mind, and I rebuked it. And then I'm just like, whoa, that shit ain't right. Like, why am I feeling like that? But it's because Satan was present. Satan was trying to take over my mind, so I had to rebuke him. I had to rebuke him, saying that, like, what? I'm supposed to be remaining sober, man. Okay? We not supposed to be thinking about, you know what I'm saying, like as far as we can help it. We're not supposed to be lusting on the Sabbath, because we ain't even supposed to be, having sex on the Sabbath. All right, we're not supposed to be looking to indulge in our own desires and things of that nature, so no watching animes or reality TV shows, okay? Or playing video games and things of that nature. All right, we're supposed to be ceasing from work, and ceasing from pleasures as well. All right, so I had to rebuke Satan, last night when I was at work, because he put a weird spirit of lust and desire in my head, and I was like, nah, that shit ain't right, But yeah, man, Lord's willingness is edifying, and I just wanted to coach brothers and sisters up through the spirit on what we can do and what we can't do on the Sabbath, man. All right. Like I said, we living in this captivity. Don't be over righteous. If you got to go to work, go to work. If you got to cook, then cook. All right. Yahweh Shem El Shai knows our hearts. Just throw up prayers, man. Shalom. Call Lord and La Yahweh Shem El Shai.